welcome to this week's episode of Goa Ahead. And the issue that we are debating this week is about alliances. Whether larger political parties should look at alliances and whether going with a smaller party bolsters them or weakens them. I have two eminent panelists with me in the studio. First, I have Professor Manoj Kamat, political analyst and economist. Manoj, welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
I have Dr. Radharao Gracias, Dr. welcome, political analyst and senior lawyer. Radharao, I'll start with you. A very simple question. When you look at alliances, we'll go one by one later. But Radharao, when you look at the present political landscape, do you feel there is a need for alliances, maybe for the BJP or the Congress, or the way everybody is projecting right now that they are okay with contesting all 40 seats, that's the right approach?
When elections come around, all political parties put their price up. All claim that they want to contest all constituencies. That is what is called simply bravado. But in actual terms, all political parties know where they stand. And then it's a matter of whether they are willing to sort their problems out. Now, you take the Congress. Congress knows that there are seats where it cannot win at all. So it may be in their interest to go for an alliance there. But then there are party compulsions also. There are compulsions, there are some candidates, there are people who oppose alliances. So all these things will be taken into account. But actually speaking, no political party, bigger parties, I would say of the Congress and the BJP. Now these are the only political parties as of now in Goa who are capable of contesting all 40 seats. Maybe Aam Aadmi Party may have the ability to contest a few. All other parties, whether it's TMC or Goa Forward or whosoever you have, or MGP, certainly cannot contest more than a few seats. So it may suit a combination to gather together votes which may otherwise split. But at the same time, there is a fear at the back of the mind of the bigger parties that there is nothing to keep the smaller parties with them after elections. Suppose you have an alliance between party A and a small party B. B gets 3 seats. Now if their opponent offers them better prospects, they will simply run away.
You're saying pre-poll alliances are not binding post-poll.
Exactly.
Manoj, how do you look at it before we go case by case?
Yes, I feel that there is a need for an alliance for all the parties today. Because here we have seen that Congress had gotten majority last time but couldn't cobble up its own government, whereas BJP with minority, with alliances, with temporary or permanent, was able to reach out to the doors of the power. Now what we see is there is a strong anti-incumbency, and I am sure neither the BJP rank and file in Goa or on the center cannot deny it, and it's a truth. And there is a strong anti-BJP wave, but Congress is also not able to put up a brave face of opposition where it can build in some kind of an confidence. And when there is such kind of dissidence everywhere and people are reacting against the government, but at the same time cannot see a formidable opposition which can come into fray. Now what we would like to do is, what people would like to see is people coming up together and making up their numbers, joining up with new allies, whether pre-election or post-election. But in order to even stake a claim today for forming a government, it seems that without an alliance, there is no single party which would emerge as a single largest party.
Radharao, now let's go case by case. And the first case is obviously BJP and MGP. Certainly BJP is right now showing interest in aligning with MGP. When past 2 successive chief ministers have sacked MGP ministers from their cabinet. It was Lakshmikant Pasekar who sacked Sudhin Dhawlikar and Deepak Dhawlikar from his cabinet in 2016. Then Pramod Sawant sacked Sudhin Dhawlikar from his cabinet after the BJP broke 2/3, which is they effectively had only 3 MLAs. BJP broke the 2/3 legislature party and took their 2 MLAs. How do you think that's going to pan out? Whether it is okay for BJP to go for an alliance with MGP politically, whether it can work, and how would MGP looking at this?
See, actually for MGP, an alliance with the BJP may look a natural alliance because ideologically they are allies. So there is not much of a reason why they cannot enter into alliance. But the problem is which seats do they concede, because their strength lies in the same areas. See, now for instance, MGP will want to contest in Madkai, they will want to contest in Ponda, Shiroda or Priol, all these seats. Will the BJP be willing to give up these seats? Because these are their strong points. So an alliance with the Congress and or Pedne for that matter, which they had last time. Now, will the BJP be willing to concede seats which are their strength? So I would personally not think that there would be
will the history that we spoke about consecutive sackings from the cabinet by two BJP chief ministers, will that history have bearing on this decision?
No, I really don't think so, because I feel that Sudhin Davlikar is power greedy. I have no doubt about that, because if you see historically, he has never had any qualms about joining whichever party was in power. And I think the same thing would happen. So essentially, what Sudhin Davlikar is looking forward to is coming back to power. He cannot afford to be
I think Sudhin
in the
Davlikar's
opposition.
ideology is power.
Power, yeah, he will not dispute that. Neither anyone in Goa will dispute that. So that being the case, he may want an alliance. Of course, he will demand the sky, but finally he may settle for the moon. But then he will also want a ticket for his brother. That's what I feel. Because you can't trust others, no? They desert you.
Yeah. Manoj, how do you look at it? Will the history have bearing, or what should be Sudhin Davlikar's stance right now?
Yeah.
Because Sudhin Davlikar is a kind of a weathercock. He sees where the wind is blowing and positions himself accordingly. Considering the present situation, do you think the BJP MGP alliance is a realistic possibility?
BJP MGP alliance could really happen, but Sudhin Davlikar will have to shed its ego. But now I believe it's too late, because BJP has already wounded up the MGP couple of times, at least 2 times in this recent past successively, as you have said. But naturally, the political agenda of both the parties is the same, and both the parties share the same vote bank. So BJP would have been a natural ally of the MGP. But now there has been a severe breach of trust between both the parties. I agree with one point of what Radharao has just now said, that Sudhin Davlikar can shift either sides. And Sudhin Davlikar, in spite of his personal liking for the BJP, or his particular friendship with Gadkari and Fadnavis as such, would have made the alliance a virtual reality also. It would have made, but now MGP has also gone too far with its candidate. And has gone ahead by putting candidates in those areas where BJP is not able or will not be able to compromise. Today, if you see realistically or practically, there are not more than 8 to 9 seats where MGP has faces. At rest of all the places, even though they are saying that they will contest on 18 or they would demand
No,
12.
but Radharao made a very interesting point, that these 8 to 9 faces, these are the constituencies where BJP is having sitting MLAs right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
BJP, other than Mandre and other than Madkai and other than Priol, except these 2 places where BJP can easily give these seats to the MGP, but there are other Vidhan Sabha seats like Pedne, like Mandre, which are going to be the most contentious.
Where
like,
BJP has their sitting MLA.
BJP has their sitting MLA, and BJP will never give, even like a seat like Bicholi, where the working president of the MGP is interested, and BJP has a speaker candidate there whom they are likely to give a seat. So Pedne, Mandre, Priol, Savarde, Bicholi and Ponda would be the minimum.
Whom does an alliance like that benefit more, BJP or MGP?
If there has to be an alliance between the BJP and the MGP, the BJP gains, because the loss of MGP is plus to the BJP. And always you have seen Parikar's way of handling MGP was very favorable to the MGP, because Parikar really understood what these brothers wanted and how to satisfy them. But then last 2 successive governments, Parsekar and Sawant, could not handle the MGP well, and now there has been a severe ego clash.
What do you think would be Sudhin's stance right now?
Sudhin
would he prefer a pre-poll compulsion or a post-poll free will?
Sudhin would always like to go for an post-poll kind of an alliance. So the where is free to move to the either side, just like in weathercock, as you have already said.
Yeah, Radharao.
See what happens now. An alliance may also be difficult between these two, because from whatever I can see, and whatever I can read, there are already candidates being created by the parties in the constituencies, by both BJP and the MGP.
Correct.
Already candidates are ready.
And there are many candidates where BJP is sitting
Yes.
MLAs.
Now, the moment you have an alliance, it would follow that one of these two will not get a ticket, and they aren't going to keep quiet. They will jump into AAP or TMC or something like that, or maybe even the Congress. So the candidate, see, the strength is not of the parties there, not of MGP. It is of the candidates. And the candidate will still be in the contest. They will be there on some other party ticket. So an alliance may not exactly suit the BJP. That's my way of
Very
looking at it.
interesting. Then I go to the second combination, and Manoj, I'll start with you, and that's Congress, Goa Forward, and NCP combination. Should that combination happen, and if it happens, whom does it benefit?
Congress, NCP and Goa Forward combination would seem as a natural combination, and it would benefit all three parties. If the Congress wishes to dislodge the BJP from power, it is necessary that all these secular forces unite. Apart from these two, that is the two possible allies, NCP and Goa Forward, there is also a third party which has consolidated its position, and it is the AAP, Aam Aadmi Party, in almost all the constituencies where Congress has serious contenders. So understand, even if AAP manages to get 800 to 1000 votes, that would be the margin by which the Congress candidate would lose. And that was the situation last time, and this year it is going to be a little more severe, because AAP has percolated itself in all the constituencies altogether. So if Congress really wants to get into power, it has no other option than aligning with the NCP, which is a natural alliance. And then we understand with the developments in last 2 days, talks have already started in a positive manner. But with Goa Forward Party, there is some problem with the ego. Now Congress, some section of the Congress wants to ally with Goa Forward, while some do not. But then unless both these all three parties come together, BJP would have an easy run towards the election. So I feel that Congress, Goa Forward and NCP is an alliance which people want, and it is the aspiration of the people, as what Vijay Sardesai the other day said. And unless this kind of consolidation happen, you will not see a strong opposition, and people will also not have an alternative.
Radharao?
See, what happens is, as far as the Congress is concerned, it has to see that there is no vote split if it wants to win. Now, with NCP in Goa, there is no such thing as NCP. It is essentially Churchill-Alema. And from what I can see, Churchill-Alema would be happy, or the NCP in Goa would be happy with probably 3 seats. Naveli, Benauli, and their president wants Daboli. With these 3 seats, whatever they may ask for, finally they will settle for these 3 seats. Now, out of these 3 seats, Daboli is not held by the Congress. And I don't see any chance for the Congress coming anywhere close there. Then Benauli is not held by the Congress for many years. Benauli has not been with the Congress. Naveli was with the Congress only in the last term. Previous 2 terms, it wasn't with the Congress. So specifically,
you're saying it's not a difficult decision for
Congress to give these 3 seats, because they are as good as lost. I don't see Congress winning any of these seats either. So therefore, an alliance with the Congress and the NCP, considering that the NCP also are their allies at the national or at the Maharashtra level, I would expect such an alliance. Now, the second aspect is Vijay, that is
Goa Forward.
Goa Forward. Now again, Goa Forward has 3 seats, and in none of these seats also has the Congress had an MLA, at least Vijay was there earlier. No, Vijay had won as independent, I think.
Yes, Vijay was independent.
So the Congress has not won Fatorda for 4 terms.
Yeah.
So it isn't, they cannot claim that seat as theirs. Now, Congress has never won Sioli, which is with the JFP. And Saligam was also not with the Congress in the previous 2-3 terms. So therefore, if I am talking only of these 3 seats, these 3 seats conceding should not be difficult for the Congress at all, because I don't see any congressman having any scope in these 3 seats. Now what remains is which are the other seats that the GFP wants. Now from whatever we hear, the Kiran Kanolkar is a pretty strong candidate in those TV in Daboli, in Aldona TV areas. that also again is not a Congress seat at all. Although they haven't won for 2-3 terms. So it should not be too difficult.
So
for
you're
them.
saying this is very interesting. When we talk about a BJP MGP alliance,
Yes.
there is conflict.
They are fighting for the same seats.
There is conflict as well as there are multiple candidates
Yes.
on practically every seat that
Yes.
MGP may want to contest.
Yes.
As far as Congress NCP Goa Forward is concerned, you are saying it's quite a clear game.
Because
it's quite a straightforward game because Congress does not have any candidates on the seats which Goa Forward
Or
and
NCP.
NCP are claiming.
Yes.
So it's an easy fit.
It's a much easier.
Much easier fit.
But then their internal party dynamics, God
Yeah.
knows what happens. You see the Congress in Goa, their leaders have their own enmities with whether with Churchill or with Vijay. So that may probably hinder a alliance rather than party's interest.
The next question, though, the question that Manoj touched while speaking about Congress, NCP and Goa Forward. And the question was about Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party is consistently growing. They are inducting very decent candidates. Whether they will impact Congress or BJP, that needs to be seen. But Manoj, prima facie, at this point of time, looking at the growth of the party and the kind of inductions they are doing, what do you feel is AAP the wild card of this election?
Yes, it certainly is, because AAP has not only touched the issues which are bothering the common man, like that of power and like that of jobs, etc., like that of pre-employment doles, etc., but at the same time they have also worked relentlessly during the COVID times. If during the pandemic there was one party which was sincerely working in Goa, of course BJP had to do it and BJP had the machinery, but they were too late to enter because most of the time they spent only in defending themselves. Congress, it was prime responsibility of the Congress as an opposition party to expose the ruling party and to do something, but of course their means were limited. But nobody expected AAP to get into the fray, to get onto the grounds during those times. But in spite of that, the kind of hard work which they have done during the COVID times in terms of supply of oxygens, oximeters, supply of rations, etc., has really gone well with the people. Point number one. Point number two, they have now really, as we have already discussed or we were discussing, that they have touched those issues which are affecting common man. Point number three, the power debate kind of scene which they have created, that high drama baji, that high voltage scenarios what they have created, they have been able to take on the ruling party heads on. So which Congress did not do to a greater extent. So today AAP is really in a strong position. AAP is consolidating its base in Goa, and the kind of inductions which you see mostly from the Bahujan Samaj. The trump card which they have played the other day, saying that from Bhandari Samaj would get a complete due recognition and respect in their party, says it all, that AAP is going to be an formidable force during this particular election, but it remains to be seen whether it is going to disturb the Congress or disturb the BJP to a greater extent. In the last election, we had seen that it was AAP which disturbed the Congress to in at least 3 to 4 seats. If not AAP, Congress would have had an absolute majority last time.
Very, very interesting. Radharao, how do you look at AAP factor?
See, one must agree that AAP has been active over a period of time. And besides, AAP is one party that has an organization, unlike a seasoned party like the Congress. The AAP has organization, it has its units to whatever extent in practically all over Goa. So to that extent, the AAP exists, whereas the Congress doesn't in many constituencies. Now, more importantly, AAP seems to have made a thorough study of Goa, what are the requirements, and now they are offering them. Now suddenly they have come up with this offer of Bhandari Samaj Chief Minister. I am left wondering whether they are trying to entice Girish Chodankar into the because he has always been talking as the leader of the Bhandari Samaj.
That would really be a wild card.
It is quite possible. See, you can't say with the Congress.
Yeah.
Luis Falero has left the Congress after having been with them, after being so close to Madam over these years.
Yeah.
So all that possibility is there. I won't be surprised if Girish now becomes the official Congress AAP candidate, Chief Minister said in Goa.
But where do you see this AAP phenomenon going?
No, I will like to add further.
Yeah.
You see, I have been following the party over the years. AAP has weakened in Salsette where they were very strong last time. I can say that except for perhaps for Benauli, where they were also strong last time. And maybe to some extent Naveli with the induction of Pratima. Otherwise, I don't see them doing well in Salsette at all. My expectation is that they would be getting much fewer votes this time than they had last time. And even if they do get votes, more votes, that's hardly going to impact because the BJP is not going to have any strength in these seats otherwise. So that would not help them. As against that, I can see with this Bandari Samaj offer and the number of people they are getting from all over Goa, they may be targeting the BJP in Ponda, in Bisholi, in Penne, all the areas where BJP has strength. And if they can get the BJP into the base of the BJP votes, I think AAP may be more of a threat to the BJP than to the Congress.
Okay, very interesting. Last part of this discussion, Manoj, is the entry of TMC, the last minute entry of TMC and the high voltage entry of TMC. I think a month down the line, where do you see TMC? Do you see any promise in the party?
All guess and all bakwas is something which I could say about the TMC. The TMC which we thought that would come with a full force, finally we realize it is already become unspent force. First, because it has not been able to get good faces as we expected. Neither did any big leader join them, neither they are able to pocket themselves at one or two places, including Navelim, where Luisin Falero suddenly disappeared from the Congress fray, and then he started TMC. But then even in Naveli, we have hardly seen any kind of a face emerging from TMC, leaving people to talk and leaving them wondering. Apart from these two things, TMC has never been on the field, neither in terms of understanding people's needs, neither in terms of echoing their aspirations, neither in terms of working on the practical field. And if you have no faces, if you have not selected some constituencies, you have already alienated Congress, actually bringing the disgruntled element from the Congress away or getting these defectors into TMC and then trying to cobble up or trying to get an alliance within Congress also would have helped them. But then they have already disturbed all chances with the Congress in the past. And now we have not seen anything happening even at the organizational level. So they could have at least built up the party with the kind of resources, the amount of money they have spent in hoardings, etc. It is just dying and it is just going as waste. Today TMC has become a joke, and all that big things which we expected from the TMC has become a storm in the teacup.
Radhabab, how do you look at TMC?
See,
you share the sentiments or you have a different opinion?
I will express my view. See, what happens is, personally, I have always felt that Mamata Banerjee is the one leader who could be a challenger to Modi at the center. Of course, in Goa, it's a different issue altogether. Now, when the TMC came into Goa, I get the feeling they did not do their homework properly. They did not know what Goa is about. That Goa is radically different from the rest of the country, at least in politics and in other aspects also. And when they came here, they did not take all this into account. I get the feeling that they relied entirely on Luisin Falero, who, as I have always been saying, has lost his credibility in Goa. He is a spent force, and he probably jumped into the TMC hoping to recoup whatever he has lost. Now, the trouble is, they depended on him. And the net result is, with he being almost zero, the AAP is not picking up, and he cannot be the public face of the AAP in Goa. I don't see. TMC, sorry. The TMC cannot be public, Luisin cannot be public face. Maybe there is still time, they could maybe do something and come back. I am not in touch with them as such. But let me also see, they have come with an offer of a new dawn. And it was a bright dawn when it did happen, when it began. But now, as Manoj has said, I would not totally disagree with him. The general public is bound to think the way he does. Because after new dawn, there should be there should be noon and then there should be dusk.
Yeah.
But it does appear that as of now, the Trinamool may move from dawn to dusk without attaining any noon at all, the way things are. So therefore, I will not write it off, because you see, they have actually, from what I can see, Trinamool is hardly in Goa. It is IPAC who does all their work. And IPAC being an organization with a proven ability and capacity, I also do not know what they are up to.
Okay, this is very,
They may come out with something.
very interesting points. I'm completely out of time. Radharao, Manoj, thanks a lot for joining me. There are many issues like this that we are going to discuss and debate and deliberate in the coming weeks. But that's all for today. Manoj, Radharao, thanks a lot for joining me. Keep watching Goa Ahead.